So in this segment, we're going to be discussing the Tories' attack on the Brexit border tax.
Prices are rising more slowly. Some will have come down. But the question is, are people starting to feel better off, Stella?
I've not heard of any prices actually coming down. That would be deflation. I've not heard of that happening anywhere. You know, the rate is slowing, yes, but, you know, wages didn't keep up with the increases that we saw. That's the problem.
Let's start with you.
No, of course they're not, because they've got massive personal debt in this country. And as you say, prices are just rising more slowly than the kind of rapacious rises we saw in the last couple of years, where literally you go into the shops one day and something would cost 10p more than it was the day before. But the thing I don't really understand, and I heard the Chancellor earlier today talking about food inflation, is in a month's or so's time, this government is about to introduce another whacking charge for importing food from Europe into the UK, which they have said will be inflationary. If the target is to get inflation to keep coming down, why is this government introducing the Brexit border tax?
So this is, we'll discuss it in a separate video, the Portsmouth thing. I know Max covered it already, but it's, you know, some of these port facilities aren't even going to be used because we're just cutting the amount of checks that we're doing. But, you know, the checks that are going on, that are going to happen in Dover, they're very expensive. It requires vets and, you know, really top facilities to do the checks. And we should really be doing the checks, but they're a byproduct of Brexit. You know, if we didn't leave the EU, we wouldn't have to do these checks. And they're very expensive, especially for small amounts of food. Small amounts is very prohibitive. You know, the vet certificates, all the things you would need. It's going to be very inflationary, let's put it that way.
Because that's just going to push up food prices and increase food shortages even more.
When will people start to feel better off, Paul?
Well, listen, they just can't say, well done, can they? They can't just say...
What do you want praise for? You've done nothing? It's literally the Sailor Moon meme where the guy goes, my work here is done. And she's like, you didn't do anything. Like, that's you didn't do anything. Like, what did you do apart from abandon people to rampant inflation?
The plan is working, and that's what's happening. If you look back some time ago, we had inflation at or around
11%.
11%
it went to.
The rest of the world had huge levels of inflation as well.
Not as high as us. Not as high as us. Not in a lot of other countries was the inflation as high as ours.
It's a global problem, but inflation is now down. It shows that the plan is working.
Inflation is not down. It's the rate of inflation has come down. If you say inflation is down, you know, people would associate that with deflation because we're not really taught about stuff like that in school.
Working. Hopefully, people will soon start to see money in their pocket. £900.
£900 won't even cover your energy bill increases.
Off hard-working taxpayers' bills. The plan is working. We just stick with the plan. And the Labour Party, well, they've got no plan.
And I don't think a lot of people aren't even eligible for that £900 anyways. You know, this guy arguing, oh, Labour got no plan. You had no plan. No real plan. Your plan was, if he dies, he dies. Like, baffling stuff here. Like, his plan was this.
Start praying, boy.
That's all they said. Just start praying. Like, we're not going to help you. It's baffling, and especially when the host didn't actually address the point that was made about the you know, the border costs. She didn't actually put that to the Tory MP. You know, she just let him take a victory lap over the rate of inflation coming down slightly. That's it. You know, it's going up. You know, food's still going up by 3-4%. Are people's wages even going to keep up with the amount of increases that we saw over the last year? No. It's ridiculous. This whole format is ridiculous. Stella Creasley made a point that is legitimate. The host is like, oh, yes, very nice. Let's the Tory MP take the victory lap. And that's it. Like, it's ridiculous. This is one of the problems we have in this country with media. Like, let's listen to this geezer again take his victory lap.
What's happening? If you look back some time ago, we had inflation at or around
11%. 11% it went to.
The rest of the world had huge levels of inflation as well. This was a global problem, but inflation is now down.
Again, like, the only countries that were mostly impacted were the ones by the Russian border, the ones that were more dependent on trade with Russia. Other countries that weren't so didn't face the levels of inflation that I think we saw. We faced some of the highest levels with some of the lowest levels of support.
It shows that the plan is working. Hopefully...
What plan? Again, if I was the host, I'd say, what was your plan apart from non-intervention?
People will soon start to see money in their pocket. £900 off hard-working...
It's just silly, honestly. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.